First thing we're going to be looking for is where that start screen is going to be. Are they going to be starting at the normal start screen or elsewhere? We're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. And we'll also see if they go for the start cave immediately or if they just take whatever caves are nearby if the start screen is randomized.
All right, here we go. Look at this. The start screen is normal, but not the wooden sword in the opening cave. It's the magical sword instead, so caves have been shuffled.
Yes. So we're kind of half right. There is a sword, just not the right one.
Yeah, that's right. So they're going to be after the wooden sword. Well, it also depends on if this is a 0 HP seed or if they are randomized plus or minus 4, or if it's just the standard amount of hit points. That's going to be another factor here.
Ooh, we got 6 Lionels right north to start. That's never any fun.
That means the overworld enemies have been shuffled.
Yes, and looks like we've got Rick playing as one of Ganon's minions, so he'll be trying to rescue Ganon instead of trying to rescue Zelda at the end of this.
That's right. Guria is one of the possible minions you can be, and we have found a level right here, and looking at the palette here, this very well could be level 3 where it normally is. I think they went to level 3, and already we're seeing Wizrobes.
Yes, and this is actually one screen north of 3 in that vanilla potion shop.
Oh, so that means the levels have been shuffled, the locations as well, and this could be shapes.
It's starting to look like shapes, but I don't think we've seen enough of the dungeon yet to confirm one way or the other.
No, absolutely not. And see that the prices have been shuffled as well. Very cheap key there. Blue ring is still the normal 250 rupees, so that's very interesting. We'll see if the secrets have been shuffled as well, as Ategenos finds a potion shop. No letter here, so he's going to just up and A and go elsewhere.
I'll have to take a look at the palette again at some point, because I didn't catch which palette it was.
It was that ugly yellowish palette, which you see in either level 4 or level 6.
Oh, that one. Lovely.
Yes.
Ooh, and we found another level. And that could be 3.
This, yeah, if again, another normal color palette. So if that holds true, this looks like this could be level 3. If that's also the case, that first dungeon that we saw north of vanilla level 3 might very well be level 1.
And that would also confirm shapes based on the entryway of 3.
Yes, that would be correct.
Well I don't think palettes are going to be a factor.
Nope, they've been shuffled. So throw everything we just said out the window. We're going to be in it for the long ride.
Yeah, I just changed all the stuff on my tracker back to question marks. And an early compass.
Amazing. So the only way we can find out what level this actually is by after they get the Triforce, that they pause and we'll get a mark on that. That's the only way we're going to know.
Yes, indeed.
Looks like Rick has just entered the same dungeon that Ategenos is in right now. We have found practically nothing.
And we've also already got 2 Wizrobe sets.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, in the Zelda 1 randomizer, there has to be a certain amount of enemy sets in play. There has to be at least 2 of the Wizrobe Pancake sets, at least 2 of the Gorilla sets, and at least 2 of the Dark Nut sets. The other 3 can be any combination of the 3 enemy sets that we just talked about. So, in theory, yes, folks, we could have as many as 5 Wizrobe dungeons.
And currently, with neither player having a sword, I don't foresee them staying in this dungeon for much longer. It looks like 8gen's already gotten out.
Yeah, and at least a favorable spot before vanilla level 6. Usually you see Lionels there. This time it's guarded by Moblins. Well, this is not first quest. He could not push that gravestone, so we're either talking about second quest or mixed overworld. And if it is a second quest and not mixed, we're talking only 1 large secret isolated.
And that might be a pretty big factor if we either have required arrows or boomstick as an option.
Well, indeed. So we're going to find out. Going to vanilla level 6 is Ategenos, and there's another shop there. Again, 70 rupees is the key. That's pretty cheap in case they were need to buy a key. But we'll see if that does come into play. It doesn't come into play all that often, but we have seen it before where when players are desperate for keys, they will go ahead into a shop and purchase one. And
90
Rick can't
rupees,
do anything.
but it'll depend on what the cheat meat is if anyone buys it.
Right. 6 minutes into the seed, and still we have found nothing. This is like the minimalist version of Zelda 1. We could be talking about one of these 2-hour seeds again.
Welcome to your unintentional low percent run as we find a
Hey, taking a road. Not too shabby. So one goes to the northwest portion of Hyrule near Death Mountain. That's not too bad. One to the northeastern part of Hyrule. That's not too bad either. Let's find out where the other one goes. One to the far northeastern corner of Hyrule. So the last 2 are pretty much near each other, but one of them going to Death Mountain. That's actually pretty useful.
Not only that, but it also takes out that possibility for being the Woodsword Cave.
Indeed. Now, we saw a different shop right there, so far no indication of whether or not this is a boomstick sheet. We did see the magical shield, but it was at the low price and not the high price. If the high price magical shield is in play, then we know boomstick is not.
That is correct. And Rick taking a death in the far northeast.
Yes, he did.
But given that there is a Take Any Road at the Desert Cave, it may not be as bad as if, say, it was taking a death up on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and a death on Ategenos screen as well. We're now 7.5 minutes in. Still, we have found nothing but dungeons.
We don't even know what the dungeons are.
No, we don't, because it's looking like shapes, and the palettes are shuffled, so, yeah, your guess is as good as mine, Isolated.
They're all level 10.
Yeah, let's just call level 10. Why not? RC Drone's in it, as far as I know.
So I've got to imagine at this point.
Go ahead.
I got to imagine at this point that both players are going to be grabbing the candle out of the bonus cave, if that's even an option, and if they can find one.
That's right. Extra candles may or may not be in play. It depends on what we find in either the Wood Sword Cave or the bonus cave, as you mentioned. And Boomstick is in play. 193 rupees is the price. Unfortunately, look at the price of bombs. 38. The maximum price is 40. So if this turns out to be a poverty seed, spend your money wisely.
And given it looks like Second Quest Overworld, it might be a semi-poverty seed just by virtue of lack of secrets.
So right now you are kind of indicated that this is looking like Second Quest. Well, here's a very first secret found by Ategenos, and 28, below the 30 average that you see for the medium secret. Medium secret could be anywhere between 25 and 40 rupees. And we see that the heart container is the item on the coast. That's the normal item. So there may be the possibility that the items have not been shuffled, but too early to tell at this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be Second Quest unless either Vanilla 2 or Vanilla 5 is open.
Yeah, that is true. Ooh, the penalty there, but it's a smaller penalty, only 16 rupees. The range is 15 to 25 rupees on the door repair charge that Ategenos just got.
We find a wood sword underneath the Armos east
And extra
of
candles
Vanilla-
are in play as well. Yep, that's a big find right there by Ategenos. Early advantage for him. A pretty easy spot, yeah, behind the Armos statue.
And if Rick stays over
Power
at 20
Bracelet is the Armos statue item. It's in a different location, but again, Power Bracelet is the Armos statue item. And so far, we're 2 for 2 on vanilla items.
And also, given that it's a looking like Second Quest Overworld, that Power Bracelet has a lot more value.
Oh, absolutely, indeed. There are more push spots than there would be in First Quest. You are correct on that. Also, one thing I want to point out, the hint caves, prices on those have not been shuffled. That is a separate flag from the shop prices.
And we find the white sword item is Lord Banana.
Yep, so throw everything we just said out the window, so everything has been shuffled. So, yep, the wooden boomerang is the white sword item, and I doubt anybody's going to go after it unless it's 0 HP. And Rick has found a medium secret behind that push block area where one of the take any roads normally is. Oh, and one thing I do want to point out, that vanilla level 5, there was a dungeon, or at least a cave in there, so it's looking like a mixed overworld.
That's definitely what it looks like. And it might be that the candle shop is the rare shop.
Well, if that's the case, boy, good luck getting a candle. You better take one out of the bonus cave. We'll see if that decision comes into play. And because this is mixed overworld, there are still going to be 3 large secrets, so that is going to be a relief in terms of the money department.
And it looks like 0 HP enemies, because the blue Lionels are going down in 1 stab of the wood sword.
That is quite a relief indeed, because, yeah, you don't want to be going up against Lionels with a wood sword. They take so many hits, plus each time you get hit by their swords, you lose 2 hearts. So, yeah, good thing they're 0 HP. That's very nice.
Ategenos does get a bomb drop, tries to bomb the screen right north of Vanilla Start, and there's nothing there. But he will get the screen west of Vanilla Start.
And that's going to cost Ategenos the rest of his money. And
Rick has found level 9.
Here. And level 9 is Power Bracelet required.
Yeah, look at that, a level we know the name of.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only level we're going to know the name out of, because, again, this is looking like shapes. Again, it's a little early to tell, but now that Ategenos is going to make his way into a level, we may have a better idea of whether or not this is going to be shapes. It's all going to come down to looking at the layout and the map as well, so stay tuned. Rick just discovered that the white sword item is Lord Banana himself. All hail!
A potential staircase room in the level that Ategenos is in, but again, it's another non-pushable double block.
Wow, so many of those already. Another thing we might want to keep in mind is if this is shapes, there may be a chance still, well, not much of a chance. There still may be a chance we can identify the level based on the rooms, maybe. I don't know if that's a potential flag or not. Meanwhile, Rick is heading up towards vanilla level 5, and he will find out for himself that this is a mixed overworld. There's a Triforce in the Triforce room. He's going to pass it up for now.
I believe that in order for dungeon shapes to be randomized, the flag allowing rooms to be shuffled between dungeons has to be on.
Ah, okay. And there's a compass here, but that's pretty much useless to Ategenos. We already know where the Triforce is. He's looking for the item or 2 items if he happens to be in level 1 or 8.
And finding the Triforce in the Triforce room means that we may have all of the Triforces in their respective rooms.
Good chance indeed, yes. Rick is going to try his luck at the vanilla white sword location, but it's being heavily guarded by these 4 blue Octoroks. And with no weapon, he's going to have to be very, very careful. The shield can deflect the rocks that they spit out, but he's down to a half a heart. And we are confirmed shapes. Name that ink blot, everybody. Ooh, and Rick just took a death right there, so he's going to have to make another attempt.
I may be silent for a little bit as my roommate is using a blender.
Not a problem. I can take over until you get that taken care of. But anyways, yeah, this is quite a big ink blot. So potentially this could be level 8 or level 7 or level 6. Look at the size of this room. We're talking 7, 11, 21, 26, 34 rooms in level. I'm guessing it's either 7 or 8 considering this size. Plethora of bombs there. But that is not the pushable reverse C. The only reverse C in the game that you can't push, and he's found it.
I want to say I've seen more than one non-pushable reverse C when shapes are on, but I can't confirm that directly.
Could be. But look at that, a single block room. Can't push that one either. Wait, where are these staircases? Rick has just found the boomstick shop. But he has no money. He's got no money. He's got no sword. Well, he is getting warmer, though. He is getting warmer. Yep, you were correct. Isolated Z-Man just pointed out that when you're talking about shapes, you can have multiple non-pushable reverse C rooms. That is true.
And 8gen finds another double block room that is not a staircase.
Man, where have all the staircases gone? Holy Toledo. I guess we're going to have to go with the escalator now. Are we moving around the times, or do they have to climb ladders to get to high places? What's going on here? And there we see that second quest level 3 is behind vanilla level 2. So again, that confirming that this is a mixed overworld. There's a heart container picked up by Ategenos. He's got 4 hearts. So if indeed that the white sword item is random between 4 and 6 hearts, he currently has a 1 in 6 chance. Because there's a 50-50 chance it's not shuffled, meaning you need 5 hearts, and there's a 50-50 chance that it is shuffled, meaning a 1 in 3 chance. Well, we found a red candle. That is a very useful find right there by Ategenos, considering no candles found except for the wood sword. So very nice pickup right there. And by getting the red candle, he can make as many shots with that candle in the same screen. Oh, and just before Rick could get to the white sword vanilla cave, he falls to the blue Octoroks again.
So there is some speculating in chat that the dungeon Ategenos is about to get the Triforce in his 7.
Could be. I mean, vanilla level 7 has 33 rooms. I like to call it 33 rooms of pure chaos. And there's our first Triforce capture. We're just going to go ahead and mark it as level 7 for the time being. So red candle being the item right there.
And with that being red candle, there's an ever so slight chance now that dungeon items may not be shuffled. Because you normally would find red candle in level 7.
Maybe. Maybe the only item that has been shuffled is the white sword. I wonder if that is a separate flag between dungeon items. White sword versus the dungeon items. And if that's the case, maybe the white sword's in level 1.
It looks like shuffling the dungeon items needs to be on in order for the white sword to be shuffled, based on me just looking in the randomizer itself.
Right. Oh, there's our first bonus cave, and because he's already got the red candle, Ategenos is going to go ahead and pick up the heart container. He now has a 5 out of 6 chance of picking up the white sword item, but again, the white sword item is the wooden boomerang, so there is a pretty low chance he's going to go after it.
Although, given it's a 0 HP seed, if we see the inferior model, that may get picked up.
Maybe. If it's the inferior model and, it's on the way, he may go ahead and grab that. But because he has the red candle, that pretty much makes the boomerang kind of obsolete. He can use the red candle instead for the B button item.
Yeah, it might be, like, if it's on the ground or something, they might get it. And getting that quick look at Genos' screen, that dungeon was 6.
Yes, indeed. We looked at the Triforce screen. We can now confirm that that dungeon is level 6, and now Ategenos is in a new dungeon. And look at this. It looks like boss HP is 0 as well.
And a bomb upgrade that is shuffled.
111 rupees, and because that's shuffled, that means we're looking at a bomb upgrade anywhere between 2 and 6 bombs. So decide carefully. Again, we do not know the value of the large secret yet.
And that manhandler confirmed 0 HP bosses.
Amazing. Yep, always good to see 0 HP bosses, especially when you're working on a wooden sword. We're almost 20 minutes into this race, and AdirondackRick still has not found a weapon. Boy, what is he thinking in his mind right now, you think?
He's might be thinking about where hasn't he checked yet, because I don't see a tracker on his screen, but he might be thinking that he's checked all of the caves over on the eastern side of Hyrule, even though he missed the Armos cave, it looks.
And I want to point out another thing. It's yet another Wizrobe dungeon for Ategenos. What's that, 3 already we've seen?
That is 3. And Rick finds a bonus cave.
Oh, huge for him. He's going to go ahead and pick up the candle. Very useful pickup right there. That's going to give him some attack power, and he's going to discover the good news that this is a 0 HP flag once he hits something with that candle. And he's found the same level that Ategenos is in right now. And there's a compass for Ategenos.
Now, given the potential for level 9's enemy set to be shuffled, I would think that the more Wizrobe sets we see before 9, there would be a greater chance that 9's enemy set will be something besides Wizrobe.
Which could be a welcome sight, but that also depends if the enemy sets are shuffled in the dungeons. Because remember, if it's a Gorilla set, the only enemy that can spawn bombs for you are the red Gorillas. That's it.
That is correct. And it looks like Ategenos is leaving that dungeon after finding a trap room that is also the island room, such that you need the ladder to avoid the traps at all.
Yeah, that is typical for a Zelda Randomizer race, is that you're going to be ladder blocked. So you're almost always going to need the ladder to complete this seed here. And another level discovered by Ategenos right here in the burnable area near Vanilla 1. AdirondackRick unfortunately taking another death there, and he's just going to get out of there.
I don't necessarily blame him. Not having a sword, there's no real way for him to take out the Wizrobes.
Yeah, absolutely not. And of course, little does he know at this point, it is ladder blocked.
We have a Gorilla set in the dungeon that Ategenos is in.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm just going to keep changing the way I pronounce his name until I finally settle on something.
Yeah, I can never settle on a pronunciation of his name. Some people just call him 8gen, some people call him Ategenos, some people call him Ategenos. There's the Triforce in the Triforce room again, so it's looking more and more likely that all Triforces are going to be in their respective rooms.
That is what it looks like, and we might have an item.
What do we have?
We do.
And it's the ladder, the huge find right there by 8gen. That is going to put him in a powerful position.
And it looks like Rick is going to pick up the sword.
And he's finally found the sword behind that Armo statue almost 23 minutes in. But he's finding himself behind in this race right now. He's got to pick up the pace if he wants a shot of getting back into this one.
He probably wants to find a required item in a dungeon that 8gen hasn't gone through and delved into yet.
Right. Now, it looks like Rick's going to check these Armo statues. He's just going to find that he's going to lose 16 rupees right there. That is level 4 that Ategenos just completed, so we can mark that off the ladder. Oh, you are speculating.
It's level 1.
Level 1, so there's 2 items there. So we've got 2 items in level 1. One of them is the ladder, and one of them is going to be on the ground.
So I don't know if he saw real quick that the Triforce he just picked up was 1s, such that he'd just make a quick run back there.
Yeah, it's an easy enough dungeon. I mean, it was a Gorilla set, so we'll see.
Looks like we have a staircase in the dungeon that 8gen's in now. It's just going to take him to more of the dungeon, where he's greeted with a manhandler.
That is an interesting point here. We could be looking at a situation where the enemy sets are not shuffled, maybe, but that's too early to tell.
We have found the value of the large secret, and it's 98 rupees.
So it's a little below the average of. So this is, I'd say, a minor poverty seed at this point. Because remember, the medium secret was also below the average, which is 28. So it's not too bad. It could be worse, but yeah, money could be precious potentially. Ooh, 111 rupees, and he's 5 rupees short of purchasing the bomb upgrade.
Rick finds another bonus cave that'll put him up to 4 hearts.
Correct indeed. By the way, Ategenos said 6 hearts is guaranteed the white sword item. Again, it is the wooden boomerang. Highly doubt he's going to go after it.
And
look at that,
item,
the inferior model, and no sir. Remember, boomstick is in place, so the bomb upgrades might not be as tempting as they normally are. So I can understand why he would not make another play towards that. But again, it all depends on what they're going to purchase. Blue ring, boomstick, bomb upgrades, the meat, arrows, a lot of decisions.
And we still haven't seen the arrow shop yet, as far as I know.
Yeah, the rare shop, for all we know.
Which, if the arrows are required due to Goma blocking, say, a Triforce, that could be very interesting.
Could be a game changer. You're absolutely right, Isolated.
Looks like Rick is in level 1.
That's right. This is the same level that Ategenos was in, and he got the ladder out of it. So we may... There it is. It's the magical shield, and Rick's going to go ahead and pick it up. Not a bad play on his point, because what the magical shield does do, it is reflect Wizrobe beams, also reflects the Zola balls, and it reflects the swords that the Lionels fire out at you. So not a bad play, but you do want to be careful about like-likes, because if you get into a like-like and you don't break out of it fast enough, you're going to lose that magical shield. But because this is a 0 HP flag, that should not be a problem.
And we can confirm 8-Gen just got the Triforce out of level 4.
So we now can confirm inferior model is the item in level 4.
And he also finds another bonus cave, so that's 3.
That's right, he has found 3 of the 4 bonus caves in the overworld already. He's up to 7 hearts. He needs to get at least 10 to have any chance of the magical sword at the start cave. Rick has found the same ladder, and he'll be happy to find that, so he should be back on track and could get into this race again quickly now.
You have just a medium secret behind Forgotten Cave.
Yes, indeed. He's up to 154 rupees. He's 39 rupees away from potentially purchasing the boomstick. But remember, he still needs to find the magical wand if he wants any shot at it. And there's the Triforce for Rick. That's his first Triforce capture.
D Hunter, the question was asked if this is first quest overworld. This is a mixed overworld, so we have some first quest, some second quest. So Rick is now in level 4, which, it being a Darknet set, confirms that enemy sets are shuffled.
Yes, indeed, because in level 4, it's normally a Wizrobe Pancake set. Of course, in Vanilla Zelda 1, there are no Wizrobes in level 4, even though it is still a Wizrobe set. There are like-likes in level 4, no Wizrobes.
8-Gen finds a heart container in a dungeon that I'm going to guess is 2 based on its size.
Very well could be. We haven't seen 2, and the only other one it could possibly be based on its size is level 3. Once again, contestants, name that ink blot.
Do find a compass.
Very, very indeed. That is a very quick find here. Now, this block is not a staircase because it is for that shutter door. If this is level 2, though, they're going to be looking for an item that's on the ground. There's the Triforce again in the Triforce room. So I think at this point we can confirm all Triforces are in the Triforce room.
Yes, which does lower the chance of a Goma block unless there's a shutter door.
Correct. There would have to be something guarding that room. That would be the only way this would become bull blocked at this point.
which is good news for both players, as that makes Boomstick a little bit easier to purchase. And we can confirm it is level 2 with the white sword pickup.
Which normally would be a great find, but again, because this is a 0 HP flag, not as great of a find as it normally would be. Unless, of course, the amount of hit points in Ganon is not 0. That is another flag that is separate from everything else in the 0 HP. We could see a 0 HP Ganon, then again it could be normal, and again it could be shuffled.
And Rick went ahead and purchased the bomb upgrade and got 6 bombs for his efforts.
That's an excellent bomb upgrade right there. It is the maximum that you can possibly get, so that is a nice purchase right there for bombs for Rick. That's the second Triforce capture for Rick, as he has just completed level 4. Right now, Ategenos has 4 Triforce pieces. He's going for 5.
So based on the map, we found level 1, level 2, level 4, level 6, 9, and 2 unknown dungeons as of yet.
0 HP Ganon means you can take down Ganon in just 1 sword strike, regardless of the sword that you have. That's what we mean by a 0 HP Ganon.
But do note that even if Ganon is 0 HP, you will still need the silver arrows in order to finish him off.
Yep, that is absolutely right. That is one thing that does not change in the randomizer. You have to have the silver arrows to finish off Ganon, no matter what sword you have and no matter how many HP he's got.
Unless he's not required in the first place.
Which is a possibility, and we've seen it quite a few times already in this first round of the tournament.
So, someone in chat asked the question of, wouldn't that mean it's 1 HP? And the difference between 1 HP and 0 HP is enemies with 1 HP can be taken out with a strike of any weapon except for the boomerang. Enemies with 0 HP can also be taken out with the boomerangs.
Yep, that's right, because a boomerang will not take out a 1 HP enemy. They will only stun them.
And given that we're talking about boomerangs and HPs, this might be a good time to bring up that if enemy HP is not shuffled, and you have keys or gels with more than 0 HP, the boomerang actually will not stun them.
Ah, good point there, yes. The boomerang becomes even more useless than it already is.
Rick finds the inferior model in level 4 and decides to pass on it.
Yep, that means he's going to get the heck out of there and move on. And the recorder has been found on Ategenos' side at what looks like maybe level 5.
Yeah, given the size of it, level 5 would make, to me, the most sense, given what we have found so far.
Yes, indeed.
And having that recorder's definitely going to be helpful, given that instead of just the vanilla level 7, like you've got the desert and Death Mountain and all those spots.
And also another thing is the recorder, there is another flag on the recorder that could possibly be active for these races. If the recorder setting for the Zelda seeds here means there is a possibility you could blow it and it could take you to a level you've not completed yet. And there's Triforce number 5 on the board for Ategenos. 3 more Triforce pieces left to go.
If he does pause, we'll get a look at what dungeon he was just in. Looks like he's going to check this power bracelet spot out instead. We find the arrow and candle shop.
90 rupees is the price of the wooden arrow. That is above the average of 80 rupees that you normally would have. So you're going to have a decision to make with those 190 rupees.
Yes. And that also means that if there is a Goma block, not only are we bow, or rather wooden arrow required, but we're also power bracelet required to get those wooden arrows.
That's right. It's what I like to call a chain reaction seed, where one item leads to another required item that you need to complete the game.
Looks like there's nothing behind second quest level 6.
Further confirming, if there was any doubt in the world, that this is a mixed overworld.
Yes. So will 8gen do the world wrap here after he gets done with the screen?
Now he's going to blow the whistle, but yeah, he is going to go for it. You're right. The pick up this heart container, he now has a 10% chance of getting the magical sword. Again, 10% because a 50% chance that the HP of the item's not shuffled, and there's a 50% chance that the HP needed for the magical sword is shuffled, and in that case, it's a 1 in 5 chance of getting the magical sword if indeed it is shuffled.
So the whistle not being too fruitful just yet with the whistle spots.
And level 2, that's where Rick is right now. He just picked up the white sword, so all he's got to do is pick up the Triforce, and he can get this level completed here. And 98 rupees, so a second large secret right there for Ategenos. He has topped out his wallet at 255 rupees.
I think if I were Agen at this point, I'd probably go ahead and go back to the boomstick shop if he knows where it is.
I totally agree, because at this point, it's a very useful thing to have in level 9. But again, it will make no use. It'll be of no use until he has the magic wand, but he's going to go ahead and buy the boomstick. I do agree with this purchase, so if he does find the magic wand, bombs away.
Plus, with being capped out on rupees, he really doesn't want to find that large secret until after he had spent them.
No, agreed. And anytime you're very close to the maximum, or if you have the maximum amount of rupees, if you find a secret, you leave it alone and come back to it if necessary.
And we have a dungeon behind Vanilla Level 2 Lake.
Recorder is required for this seed, so yep, this is looking very much like a chain reaction seed. As Rick has picked up the Triforce in level 2.
This looks like it could be 3 based on the size.
More than likely, yes. I'm going to have to agree with you right there.
And I just noticed that both players have really low key counts.
Yeah, Rick has no keys at all, just 2 keys for Ategenos. So that magic key could be a difference maker in this particular seed right here if one finds it and the other doesn't. Because level 9 has a tendency of key blocking players, so we'll see if that comes into play.
Now, what would be helpful for finding the magic key at this point would be to have the standard fare in 9 instead of having it buried deep in there.
Right, but as we always say, the game knows, and chances are if they're going to need keys, it's probably going to be in level 9, or it's going to be one of those hellish dungeons in 7 or 8.
And it looks like we might have an item in level 3. We do, and it's the bow.
Ooh, huge find right there. Level 3 having the bow, that's a good item to find. Now, he currently has no arrows, but that is half of the picture that Ategenos needs in case Ganon is required. But right now it's looking more and more likely potentially that we might see silver arrows in 9. However, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 levels left to go and a potential 6 items. So at the moment, 1 in 3 chance.
Yes. And I don't think we've seen 8-Gen pause yet to know what that mystery dungeon that Rick is in now is.
No, he has not paused. Now he has.
And it is level 5.
Aha, so yep, we were right about level 5.
So that means that the dungeon close to start is either going to be level 7 or level 8.
Yeah, I mean, they're both big enough that it could be either one, so stay tuned for that one. Again, depends on how many items we find in either of those dungeons, but yeah, they're saving the big dungeons for last, so yep, they're definitely going to have to be gambling here if they want to take a shot at winning this race. Do you go for one item, do you go for both items, or do you go for no items?
Especially given that now all of the required items have been found.
He's going to go ahead and buy the wooden arrows there, so that means 90 rupees. He's down to 0 rupees. It could be a valuable play if there is a golem block somewhere, whether it is for an item or if it's guarding a shutter door that has a Triforce. So not a bad play there on Ategenos' part. And there's the recorder found by Rick right here in level 5.
And I definitely agree with the wooden arrow purchase, given how far it is into the seed. You don't want to get deep into a dungeon like 7 or 8 and then have to go out, get arrows, and then come back.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But that also confirms that the arrow shop is not the rare shop.
It is not indeed. You are absolutely right.
So, given... Oh, the boomstick has to be the rare shop, because I think there's a mechanic where, unless the shops aren't randomized, the boomstick's always in the rare shop.
You may be right about that.
Meanwhile, Rick goes ahead and picks up the Triforce in level 5.
To answer your question, M-Pain Train, no, the blue ring was not with the boomstick. It was with the medium-priced magical shield and the bombs. And that door repair penalty is going to cost Ategenos the rest of his rupees. Back to 0 he goes. But he's going to get some rupees back. Let's see how many. 28, another medium secret on the board for Ategenos.
So at this point, it's looking more and more like we're going to have that last dungeon be somewhere up on Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's looking more and more that that's going to be the case. And there is the third and final large secret found by Ategenos. So he's now got some money to play with.
Although there is also the possibility that it is raft blocked. And the raft is one of the items hiding in that remaining dungeon.
Maybe, yeah. The only level we have not found is one of either level 7 or level 8. The final mystery level, if you will.
And 8gen buys a key.
Interesting play there. He still had 3 keys in his possession, so I kind of question that move there. I might have saved my money for something else. I mean, there could be a potential bait block for all we know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is I'd almost go ahead and buy the bait now that you found the cheap meat shop.
Absolutely. So we'll see if that comes back into play there. He did find another medium secret to go back to 53 rupees, but yeah, I do question that play that Ategenos just made there.
And we do have a dungeon on Death Mountain, as Rick just entered it.
Yes, indeed. If that is the new dungeon, yep, that is the last dungeon that we have not found yet. And this could be the one that turns the tide if it's a very useful item. We shall see.
Early Dig Dugger sighting, that's always fun.
Finds a key. That's always a useful thing to find. He was down to 1 key. Now he's got 2, and he's found the map. And once again, players, name that ink blot. Rick takes out that dig dog to get an extra 4 bombs. There's nothing he can do in terms of bombing because he was at the southern end of that particular tip. He has found a staircase.
See?
Maybe it's got something.
Another passage.
Ooh, and he's not going to take it, so he's going to try another part.
Although now he might have to. If he can't bomb out of this room, he cannot.
And he's taking it out on that B-hat. Yep, he can't bomb out. That's right. So he's going to have to take that staircase now.
A section dungeon within a large section. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like level 5.
The raft has been found in the dungeon that 8gen is in, but it is not required.
Yep, the raft, in this case, not required. The only thing that the raft could bring is maybe a secret or maybe a potion shop, but other than that, yeah, raft's not required. Oh, shoot.
The only other thing it could potentially bring that they may want to look for would be mags, but given that it's a 0 HP seed, Oh, yeah, that's right, it's at start.
Yep, that's right. Again, mags may not be as important. The only thing that could possibly be important for is the Ganon fight at this point.
You know, sometimes when there's something like a white sword or a magical sword right at start, I just completely forget it's there.
Yeah, I could certainly not blame you, because you don't look for a magical sword until you have at least 10 hearts, and 12 hearts is the normal amount, which, by the way, Ategenos is very close to. He's at 11.
So now we might get some more insight as to which dungeon each person is in, if there's a second item in the dungeon that 8gen's in.
Well, Rick is taking a shot here, thinking this might be level 8, because he just passed up the Triforce.
He did. That's interesting.
Yep, we'll see if that comes back into play. If he does not find another item, well, he's blocked out of that room and he's taking it out on the Peahat again.
Gorillas and Peahats, not the friendliest of... Oh. Nope, just a passageway.
We thought maybe that was level 8 where he was in, but not to be. Well, there's Zelda's room.
So we can confirm she is able to at least walk out of her room and move it to another dungeon.
So it's
That's
possible there may... Yep, good thing about this is if there could be more than one way to get into Zelda's room when we get to level 9, because usually if Zelda's room is not shuffled, there's only one way to get there. It's from the south. A double block room here for Ategenos. Maybe we can find an item here. No, yet another double block room that's unpushable.
And it looks like we are not meat blocked.
Nope, we are not.
So now that makes the purchase of the key a little bit better, knowing that the meat block is not in place, and 8gen does pick up that Triforce.
Yep, and so far Rick has almost full cleared this dungeon. We have still not found another item. Maybe this one where Rick is in might be level 7, and the one 8gen might have got out of is level 8, but we will not know until he gets that Triforce piece. And I think we're getting some confirmation now that Rick is in level 7. That means by process of elimination, level 8 is the level that Ategenos just got out of. It's a full clear, it looks like.
Yes, he actually paused briefly right as he got out of it, and the Triforce for level 8 was filled up.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Don't spend all that money in one place. The small secret, 2.
And given the price of bombs, you would need to find about 19 of those in order to replace your bombs.
And there's not even 19 small secrets in Zelda 1. There's only 4.
So, Genos finds a bonus cave. Oh, magical key for Rick.
That is huge in case keys are a factor in level 9, and he was down to 2 keys, so that is a terrific find there by Rick. Nice job.
I would say the search in 7 was worth it for that.
Absolutely. Great find right there.
Looks like we have the last bonus cave over at Vanilla level 4. And 8gen did pick up one of the red potions out of the bonus caves, which does make sense given the seed and given that I don't think we found the letter yet.
That's right. And that's a good play in my opinion. Magical Sword, considering this is a 0 HP seed, is not as valuable as it normally is. So yeah, I definitely agree with the play of picking up the red potion in a bonus cave, especially when you haven't found the letter yet. Now, so far we still have not found the red ring, the wand, or the silver arrows. And this is really starting to look like that the normal fare is going to be in level 9. If that's the case, Magic Wand's the other item in level 8.
Yes. What was the first item in 8 again?
It was the raft. Raft.
Thank you.
And now that we know...
There is
go ahead.
One small advantage that Rick has in that he knows where all of the dungeons are, and 8gen does not know where level 7 is yet.
That is correct. And if level 7 eludes him, Rick could get back into this race. Now, to let everybody know, now that we're almost 48 minutes into this race, I'm going to go ahead and recap all the items that we have found and what we speculate is in level 8 and level 9. Level 1, the items are the ladder and the magical shield. Level 2 had the white sword. Level 3's item was the bow. Level 4 had the magical boomerang. Level 5 was the recorder. Red candle was the item in level 6. The magical key was the item in level 7. We are speculating that in addition to the raft, that the magic wand is in level 8. And we are also speculating that the normal fare of the red ring and the silver arrows are in level 9. Armor statue item was the power bracelet, ladder item on the coast was the heart container, and the white sword item was the wooden boomerang.
Oh, chat brings up a good point that Rick has not found level 3 yet.
Ooh, so both of these players are missing one level in their repertoire.
Although Rick did find the letter up in Death Mountain.
Now, the letter could be a useful item for him, because now if he finds a medicine shop, he can show that letter and buy some potion. We can find out what the price of potions are. But instead, he's going to lose 16 more rupees, another door repair penalty.
And it looks like there's nothing in Spectacular Rock this seed.
Nothing in Spectacular Rock. Yes, indeed. Nothing in Spectacle Rock, indeed. That's normally where you can find level 9 in the first quest, but In second quest, he's not there. He's somewhere else. So try again.
Steve, we're thinking the wand is going to be in level 8 with the standard fare in level 9.
Indeed. There's always that minuscule chance, but we really have to believe that the normal items in level 9 are in level 9 this time.
Although I have seen seeds where only the silver arrows are shuffled out of 9 and the red ring is still in there.
True. It can happen. Again, it's a small chance to be sure, but it can happen.
And that also changes the potential value of Boomstick, given that if the wand is deep in level 8, is 8gen going to go back for it?
Well, 8gen is zeroing in on where level 7 is. In fact, no, he's not there quite yet, but he's very close to where he needs to be.
Interesting that he would skip that secret.
He must not think money... Yeah, he must not think money is in play anymore, because he's not going to buy a blue ring at this point, and there's nothing else that he really needs to buy, so I can see why he'd skip that secret, to be honest, but he might have wanted to buy something else, but I don't disagree with the play.
No, I don't think I do either, but he also hasn't seen the not meat block yet. I don't know if that's weighing on his mind at all.
Well, he's going to see it, and he is going to understand.
He's out of bombs.
Yes, he is, and that resource management right there. Resource management right there. And remember, if the magical wand is indeed in level 8, as Rick has just picked up the Triforce in level 6, if the magic wand is in level 8, that's going to mean that Ategenos has missed an opportunity on that boomstick.
Not only that, but the bomb upgrade then becomes a little bit more valuable if nobody goes for it.
Absolutely. And again, resource management is everything. His key situation looks pretty good. He's at 8 keys right now. But yeah, the bombs are a problem. Speaking of bombs, he gets a lucky bomb drop out of those blue moblins and another lucky bomb drop. Can you believe his luck?
It looks like at the moment he is definitely going to need it.
Oh, absolutely. To me, this is anybody's race right now. The keys and the bombs might very well come into play into level 9. It is shaped, so anything goes when it's a level 9 like that.
Yes, indeed.
Right now, Rick needs the Triforces out of level 3 and level 8, but again, he does not know the location of level 3 and level 8. He's been in it, but he wasn't in there very long, so he's looking for level 3. We know he's not in the right direction. Needs the recorder.
Although I'm not sure what he has left in the northwest of Hyrule to check, so he may only be here for a short trip and then head over to the east.
True, he may do that around the world wrap if he's got the capability of doing so. So we'll see if that's what he's got in mind. As he misses those bombs, I don't think he picked them up. Oh, he was checking the warp spot in second quest, and that is not a warp spot. That's what he was thinking. You'll have to check somewhere else. Maybe now he might be thinking about that lake in level 3 second quest.
Yes, because again, we can't see a tracker, so we don't know where he has and hasn't been outside of him burning bushes.
Now remember that the magic key is in level 7. There's a good chance perhaps that Ategenos might stumble upon that. And if that's the case, then keys are now not an issue for either player. It could come down to resource management in bombs. Rick's going to check the recorder spot in vanilla level 7. Unfortunately, that's the wrong recorder spot. But he does find a secret that's going to give him an extra 2 rupees. But better than losing rupees.
I don't know if not having the magic key will be as much of a factor as of right now, given 8gen's key count.
Now, he's now up to a whopping 9 keys. Remember when he was down on keys? Well, not anymore. He found the bonanza of keys in the previous dungeons.
Although it looks like he's on the path to get the magical key.
Yeah, indeed. It's inevitable, because, I mean, it's not that far from the Triforce.
And given that it's a Guerrilla set 7, it's not too terribly hard to find the item.
No, not at all. I mean, the only thing he might be thinking to himself is, am I playing with the normal items in level 9 with the red ring and the silver arrows? I mean, if that's on his mind, then it could be Triforce and Go mode for him. We'll see, though.
Yeah, although I think he'll probably go to 9 first, because you've got not only the chance of silvers being in 9, but the chance of Ganon not being required.
Yeah,
he'll
that's
come back
right.
to 8 if he needs to.
Correct. If Ganon's not required, throw everything out the window. believe Rick's back in level 8.
And 8gen will pick up the magic key here with 10 keys.
Of course, because when you get the whenever you have a plethora of keys like Ategenos, this game's going to be like, let's give you the magic key, give you all the keys in the world. You have 10 keys, let's just give you all the keys because the game knows.
Yep. Well, they got to put it in hexadecimal
Indeed.
instead of just regular.
Yep, that's right. But that means he doesn't have to worry about keys in level 9. So yeah, it's all going to come down to the bomb situation for both players, I think. It's going to come down to that. It's going to come down to if Ganon is required, or in Rick's case, Zelda's required.
Now, given that 8gen is close to being able to afford one of the bomb upgrades, do you think he'll go back for one if he remembers where they are?
No, I don't think he's going to go back for a bomb upgrade unless he absolutely positively needs it. I don't see him going back to a previous dungeon at this point. We shall see, though. Now, another thing that might be on Rick's mind, he's in level 8. Remember that the item in level 8, one of the items is Raft, and we believe that the other item is the Magic Wand. If he finds the Raft, you think he's probably going to make a shot at the Raft locations.
I don't see why he would, though. Well, he still hasn't found 3 at this point, so yeah, actually, that would be a good reason.
That's the reason why. Meanwhile, Ategenos picked up the 8th and final Triforce piece, which means he's now entitled to go into level 9. Remember, in the first set of rounds, you have to get all 8 Triforce pieces in order to make your way into level 9. That is always a requirement in the Zelda Randomizer race.
And Rick is going to buy the second bomb upgrade, giving him a total of 20 bombs.
That is huge. Remember, he is pot committed, not in buying the boomstick. It would look like. So yeah, that's huge for Rick. Having 20 bombs in level 9 is pretty magnificent, and this really could come into play if bombing for bomb holes is a deciding factor. I like that purchase by Rick.
And especially given that we might have Wand either buried deep in 8 or 9, with the likelihood that both players are going to end up skipping it, I think both bomb upgrades is the better purchase.
Now, well, there's the letter found, but because he already has a red potion, it's useless to him. I still would have picked it up. I mean, you never know how trolly that level 9 is going to be. And remember, there's no rings.
Chad's bringing up a good point that I don't think 8gen knows where 9 is yet.
I thought he might have seen that, but I think you're right. It was Rick who discovered where level 9 is because it's where one of the Take Any Roads is. So, yeah, there's a chance that Ategenos does not know where level 9 is. If that's the case, Rick can catch up here.
Yes. I know Rick found it because he went in there pretty early, actually.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if Ategenos would have known where it was, he would have made a play for it right now. He does not know where level 9 is. And if he does, he never marked it. So this could give Rick a chance to catch up right here.
But honestly, I think if he's found the raft at this point, he just needs to get out of 8.
Yeah, that's true.
If he did, I did not see it.
I didn't think he got the raft, but if that's the case, I didn't see it. I mean, I'm sure the chat knows if he got the raft or not, but I certainly didn't see it. Looks like everybody didn't see it. Yeah, Rick's without the bow because remember, the bow's in level 3. And he's going to check the raft spot right here of Ategenos. He's going to find to be disappointed. In fact, he's going to lose 16 rupees.
And Rick is exploring a lot more of 8 than it looks like 8gen did.
Yeah, this is quite the lengthy an 8, that's for sure. Because again, he never found the second item in level 8. Again, we believe it's the Magic Wand. But if it's Silver Arrows, if the small offset chance it's the Silver Arrows, and Ganon's required, Rick's going to be in a good position.
Oh, I think the raft is bow blocked behind that Goma.
Very well might be behind that reverse C. Remember, I don't remember seeing that in room. If that's the case, yeah, it's bow blocked, and remember, he's got no bow, no arrows.
Which actually would be a good thing for Rick at this point.
Yes.
see. Is he going to make
Of course,
call to
now,
leave?
now,
No, he's staying.
Yep. Now get this: if the silver arrows happen to be behind that reverse C staircase where that golem was blocked, both of these players are boned, and they're going to have a long journey.
A long quest to find the girl or the pig, depending on which one.
But again, all bets are off if Ganon's not required.
Double A, Rick had 20 bombs. That's his maximum because he bought both bomb upgrades.
Yep, the bomb upgrades were worth 6 apiece.
And he might have just found the second item.
It's behind the spiral staircase? Well, we'll see.
Nope, there's the raft.
Yep, found the raft that was found earlier by Ategenos. Yep, it was behind the spiral staircase. That is true. Yep, it's looking more and more likely right now that that second item is Goma blocked, whatever it might be. Rick
And
doesn't
it
want
looks
to
like
bother finding
he
out, though.
They're checking this spot first. Finds a secret.
Yep.
He's not going for Vanilla 4. It looks like he's going in the direction of Vanilla 2.
If that's the case, he'll be glad he did. But he's down to 1 heart. He's got to be very careful. Remember, neither of these players have a ring, and they're going to be going to level 9 without a ring, it's looking like, for both of these cases. Neither player has the cash.
Speaking of level 9, 8gen just found it.
Oh, yeah, 60 minutes and 32 seconds in, he has found level 9. A little surprised he wouldn't refill on his health, but I can understand why, because he doesn't know where Rick is. For all he knows, he could be behind. But we know he's ahead by quite a bit. Big question is Ganon required, and what enemy set do we have? It's the easy one, Gorillas. And that could be huge, because remember, only red Gorillas have the bomb drops. And in... Oh, look at that, free bombs! That could come into play, though, if bombs, you know, are going to be a factor.
And 8gen finds silvers in 9.
Can you believe his luck? Silver arrows almost immediately in level 9. Well, all he's got to do is find the pig and or Zelda, and he's going to be a winner.
So with silvers being in 9, I'm going to go ahead and put down that the wand is the second item in 8 and the red ring is the second item in 9.
Yeah, I think it's a safe assumption at this point. And even if it's not, it really doesn't matter at this point, because right now, Ategenos is just going to be looking for the pig and or the princess right now.
Well, the only way I could see it mattering is the fact that 8gen does have the boomstick. So if the wand is the second item in 9, he'll not have to worry about bombs at that point.
If Boomstick's the item in level 9, this race is over, in my opinion, because at this point, he won't have to worry about being bomb blocked.
Meanwhile, Rick has found the last of the large secrets.
Yep.
Putting him up to 246.
Now, that could make an interesting scenario for Rick. He's now in striking distance of buying the blue ring. He may go for it.
And if he does, that will give him a defensive advantage over 8gen.
Yep, double defense. That is correct. So, this could get interesting depending on how good of hiders and seekers Zelda and Ganon are in this particular room here. Now, if Zelda is required, there will be a single shuttered door room. If it doesn't open, then we know Ganon's required.
And I've got 8gen sound on to see if he hears Ganon.
Yep, if you hear it, you may announce if you like, because I have both of these on mute.
All right. So hopefully, Rick heads over to... It looks like we do not have Whistling to New Dungeons on.
Nope, because he's back to...
And 8gen just found Zelda.
Oh, this is all over, so Ganon wasn't required. 8gen is the winner, and that will do it. So 8gen 1-0 in the Swiss-style brackets.
Wow. That was unexpected.
And he was down to just 1 bomb, so the situation where resource management could have been in play, everything thrown out the window because Ganon, not required, easy access to Zelda, 8gen wins. And in my opinion, that is what Rick's downfall was not finding level 3. He checked every whistle spot in second quest except the most obvious one, vanilla level 3 second quest. I mean, that in the end proved to be Rick's undoing. I mean, he had all the resources. He played this seed very, very well, but the routing ended up being the difference in this particular race.
Yep.
Rick went ahead and took the red potion out of that bonus cave in vanilla level 4. So yeah, I'm really starting to think that Rick is going to probably make a play for the blue ring. It looks like we have 8gen in the commentator's booth with us. 8gen, congratulations on your first win in the tournament. Well done.
Thank you very much. How are you guys doing?
We're doing quite well. This was a pretty close race here, but now it looks like Rick has finally found the last piece of the puzzle, level 3. That ended up being his undoing because this was actually a pretty tight race. It was coming down. It was going to come down to resource management. Were you worried about your bomb situation when you were in level 9, considering you had the boomstick, but you didn't have the magic wand?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know where the wand was. It was either in 9 or 1, probably.
It was either in 8 or 9. We're speculating that it's the normal vanilla level 9 item. So there's a pretty good chance, we don't know it for sure, pretty good chance that the one was an 8.
Yeah,
Which
I was kind of banking on that, but you know, I passed up the bomb upgrades with that in mind. I saw the Goma block in the 1 level, so I knew I needed to buy arrows at some point. But yeah, I mean, I was a little bit worried, but I got the drops when I needed. I mean, you saw me farming bombs outside 7, so.
Yes, you did it. Yep. That we were also speculating that the second item was behind that Goma block. So again, we're never going to know that because again, Rick's going to be in level 3. He's going to be in level 9 shortly. But yep, well played there. I just have one question. You played the seed extremely well for the most part, but I do have one question for you. That key purchase, you had 3 keys, yet you went ahead and decided to buy a key somewhere in the middle of that seed. What were your thoughts on that?
3 keys is bad, and you've been using a bunch of them. I mean, I had extra rupees. I already had the boomstick. I already had the key, and I'd already been in both dungeons with the bomb upgrades, so I wasn't going to see any of that. So I might as well buy a key, because you never know when you're going to find the itty key. I figured by the time I found 10 that was going to be it there, but you know,
Yep,
it happens.
That's right. Anytime you have 10 or more keys, there's like almost 100% chance you find that magical key because this game's like, hey, you got enough keys. Let's just give you the any key, give you all the keys in the world. Because we were thinking about bait block. Well, there was a bait area, but so much for a block.
Yeah, I never ran into him. I don't think. Where was it at?
It was along one of the bottom rooms in level 7.
Okay, I guess I just never. Maybe I did see it. I don't know, but yeah, it didn't end up mattering.
Yep.
That's always in the back of your mind, but you know, in my opinion, yeah, you may need bait, but the chances of that being your problem versus a key being your problem is pretty low. So I figured the key was probably the better purchase at the time. It didn't ended up mattering in the long run because I ended up finding enough keys. But again, it's one of those things you never quite know. And then, you know, I was looking all over my map. I hate mixed quest overworld so much.
It's a tough one.
I have so many marks on my map. I use a dry erase map, and Dungeon 1 was right there on the other side of it, and I wrote D1 and circled it, and ended up covering up where that's at. And I'm like, where the hell haven't I been? Where the hell haven't I been? And there was 2 places I hadn't gone that I ran into, and fortunately I figured it out fast enough.
And then, of course, on top of it, you had shapes without knowing what level you were unless you picked up the Triforce and paused that. Because at first we were looking at the colors, hey, it looks like the pallets haven't been shelved. And then when we saw that icy blue one, I'm like, throw everything out the window.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough in that aspect. I thought we looked like normal dungeons to begin with, and then it definitely wasn't. And you know, the worst combination of shapes and palette shuffle and start room shuffle, but it ended up not mattering too much. I mean, there was a couple of Triforces. I don't know what dungeons they were, but I got them. I figured out obviously it was level 1 after I left and checked it, but outside of that one, none of them really mattered.
Yep, and right now Rick is in level 9 right now. He's taking a different path. You had a pretty easy time with level 9. You found the silver arrows almost immediately, and not long after that, you found Zelda, and just like that, it was all over.
Yeah, lucked out again. I got a bomb drop, and it ended up mattering because it used a few bombs to get there.
Yeah, you definitely had some lucky moments.
I don't remember how many stairs I took. It wasn't too many, but I
Felt
believe I
like-
took one. Well, I took the one, and it took me to the other side of the 2 rooms that I was already at. And the one you couldn't bomb, and the other ended up being the side staircase, so you wouldn't have been able to bomb that either. So, I guess I just took the right staircase. There is the possibility, obviously, that there's another way there, but...
Oh, yeah.
And you
Felt like
did
you didn't
find the
take any
silver arrows
staircases.
pretty much as soon as you walked in, which I imagine was a relief.
Yeah, again, silver's is cool. It's like, okay, that's cool. It's not like you when you're doing a normal seed, you're like, oh, thank God I got silver arrows so quick. For me, in the back of my mind, it's find compass, find Zelda. I don't even really have silvers in the front of my mind until I've confirmed whether or not Ganon is indeed required, because you've got to have that mindset of, okay, I've got to find rooms. And then, I saw that Ganon wasn't in his normal room. I'm like, well, shoot, that means I can't use the normal strategy of go up, 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 but it ended up actually working out in this case.
Yeah, we had discovered that Zelda's room was in another dungeon, so we knew that those rooms had been shuffled, meaning there was more than one way to get there. But of course, finding silver arrows, whether or not they're required, it's always nice to find the insurance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, Rick is in the western side of Hyrule. He is looking for any clues to maybe getting to either Ganon or Zelda. Remember, he's playing as the Guria sprite, so Zelda is the bad guy this time. Guria is who he's trying, or Ganon is who he's trying to rescue as the Guria.
It's interesting that he's playing as a Guria in a Guria set 9, so he's fighting a bunch of Links too.
That is kind of funny, but you know what? It's right, because Link has to defend the princess, and what do you know? We found the other item in level 9, and sure enough, it is the red ring, which means we now can confirm Magic Wand is indeed 100% an 8.
Yeah, I was hoping that was level 7, but I was kind of like, well, I found, I don't remember what it was. Was it the ladder? I think.
Raft was an 8. Raft was an 8.
Okay, so I found the raft, which didn't end up mattering, but I found the item, and I'm like, okay, I know where the Triforce is. I assumed that it was 7, and then found out that it was 8, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to go back in and look for an item. It's just not worth it. Even if it was the wand, it didn't end up mattering. And, a cool thing about this seed, and it's a pretty rare thing, is that this isn't Wizrobes.
Yep.
Out of, and I'm going to go on my stat binge here. We've had 17 that I've logged, and there have been only 3 other ones other than this that hasn't been Wizrobes in level 9.
Yeah, the only bad thing about a Guria set is the bomb situation. The only enemy you can get bombs out of are red Gurias, and Rick right now has 8 bombs. Remember, he started with 20 bombs because he purchased both of the bomb upgrades. Each bomb upgrade worth a whopping 6.
Wow, yeah, it's a risk I took. It almost cost me, but
yeah, we were speculating that could have come into play in level 9, but again, you found the quick path. Resource management not a factor. Sometimes you just got to get lucky to win these close races.
Yeah, I was really worried. I think the first dungeon I did was 6, and I dug the item, and it ended up being a candle, so I wasn't too upset, but I spent a lot of time in there, and luckily, I think that was Wizrobes, maybe. I don't remember, but I didn't die, one of my exploration, which was a big deal. I did take a couple of deaths I really wasn't proud of. I think I had 4 total, but big thing is minimizing deaths in 0 HP seeds, because they can cost you so much, especially if you're deep in a dungeon. It's ridiculous.
Yes, dying in one of the large dungeons, or even in like a Triforce room, if Triforces aren't in their normal rooms, is just a really painful experience.
Rick should be really close here.
Now, with the win, you have one of the wins, and you are that much closer to guaranteeing yourself a spot in the round of 16. Now, Saver's Race is coming up tomorrow night. Are you hoping to have another crack at Crystal Saver in the Zelda Randomizer tournament?
It would be fun. If it's Shapes, I actually have a chance. He is very vocal. This should be Zelda, yeah.
That's it. Yep, he has found Ganon, and that will do it. So Rick has finished the race himself. We'll get an official SRL time in just a moment. It's 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 12 seconds, so about a 10-minute race.
But Saver's pretty vocal about not liking Shapes, so if you're going to have a chance against him at all, it's got to be in Shapes. If you get anything that's standard, I don't think anybody has a chance.
He's one of the top runners of even vanilla Zelda. He's actually one of the top runners in that as well.
Yeah, I remember it was a Maelstrom seed where he did a 4-heart wood sword Ganon and finished in like 42 minutes.
That's nuts.
This
That's
dude's
almost low
insane.
percent for Pete's sake. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we do have AdirondackRick here in the commentators booth. AdirondackRick, a very good race for you, a very respectable time, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. It looks like level 3 was the one that tripped you up. Go over the seed with us, Rick.
Don't think level 3 was the thing that tripped me up, because that was the one I found last. If you wanted to attribute anything to the way that this race went, it was the 6 or so deaths I had before I had the wood sword.
Yeah, finding wood sword. Yeah, you did find wood sword much longer than 8 Gen did, so that's another factor that could have fell into play. But you were catching up to 8 Gen because he was actually having a tough time finding level 9.
Well, the thing is I knew going into the actual combat portion of this, I had to take risks. As you saw, there were many dungeons I left the items behind because I knew at that point, because I had gotten wood sword at about 18, 19 minutes in, I was in a trailing position, and you can't be dying that many times and have a great chance when you're facing off a good competitor like 8 Gen.
If it makes you feel better, I died in some really, really bad places too. I don't think I got the sword till probably around 12 or 13 minutes. It was one of the last caves that I looked in.
Well, let's just say that I died 8 times, and I believe 6 of those 8 times were Octoroks.
Ooh.
And I died on the screen. The Armos East of 2 was the one that had the wood sword, correct?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep. I died on that screen trying to get in there.
Due east. It's southeast east of 2. It's the one that's normally the 10 secret.
Okay. So I died on the one that was just northwest of that one, and it's just those kind of deaths. They really, really hurt. That's why I'm not really a good swordless competitor.
Yeah, it's unfortunately rough, and a lot of times you'll be like, all right, I'm fine, and then you face tank a few too many things, and then Armo screens are just bad because you never know if you're going to get fast or slow, and if you've got something shooting projectiles, it never fails around the top row shooting at you while you bump it. So, I think I had a death to that too, and it's pretty frustrating.
And it doesn't. I was going to say, it doesn't help when you don't know which side the staircase is going to pop up on, left or right.
Yeah, I actually took a death to that too, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. And then I hate mixed overworld because, like I was saying earlier, I have my laminated map, and I do marks with a marker. Well, Dungeon 1 was right to the left of level 9, and I wrote D1 and circled it real big, right, so I don't forget where it's at. Well, it just so happens that level 9 was right by it, and that's the last place on the overworld I checked after fumbling for a bit because I didn't realize I hadn't checked it. I'm like, where do I gotta go? And then it finally clicked.
Yeah, I decided, okay, at level 8, I haven't gotten the bow yet, and there's a possibility. I don't really want to go into 9 on the gamble that Ganon's not required, but luckily for me, it's in a nice, easy level 3.
I think fast Octoroks in the overworld are like the gorillas. You can't consistently predict when they're going to shoot, but they can predictably consistently hit you.
It's the worst with HP shuffle. Like, you get like a fast 6 blue, and you're just like, sure, I'm avoiding the screen forever. I'd rather have Lionels.
Yep.
But like I said, that dying to good competitors, it just increases the gap, and I knew I had to take risks after that point, leave some items out of dungeons, and got really happy when I saw, oh, this is a Gorilla 9.
Yeah, and if you were wondering, Rick, yes, it was the standard level 9 items in level 9 with the red ring and the silver arrows. Neither of you found Ganon, of course, not required.
I kind of figured that the red ring was, when I found the red ring in 9, that it was going to be the standard fare, but I did know where Ganon was, and because I didn't have silvers, I was not going to touch him 1 point at all.
Yeah, I actually found silvers in, like, I think the first minute in level 9. If you just went to the right and then went straight up, you ended at a staircase, so it ended up being the silver arrows.
And I just took the first staircase right there on the right-hand side.
Man, good game. You did pretty good. I mean, it's like you were saying, it doesn't matter who you are in a 0 HP seed. You cannot afford to have overworld deaths and
Absolutely.
deaths deep in a dungeon. It's just it's too much time loss. And I fumbled around. I went to, I think 6 was the first dungeon I really did anything in, and that was probably not a good choice. I ended up I didn't know it was 6, and by the time I found the map, it was already half explored. It ended up having the red candle, which was great, but I spent a chunk of time in that dungeon trying to find the Triforce in the item, and I didn't even get the second item out of 1 because I didn't realize it was 1, and I'm like, well, I'm not going back in there. You gotta get what you find and go.
Yeah, I found that level 1 had the magic shield on the floor. I'm like, is this 2 or 1? And then I found the staircase. Oh, it's 1.
Yeah, I actually bought Boomstick too. I bought Boomstick and arrows and a key. I didn't buy a bomb upgrade, which kind of cost me. I ended up having to farm bombs outside of 7. I ended up 0 for 6 before I actually found the dang bomb wall, which is pretty frustrating. And then I almost ran out of bombs in 9. So it's I took a risk there because I had 3 keys when I bought a key. I knew there was an arrow block because of that Goma, which was kind of irritating, honestly, especially with 90 rupee arrows. But it happens.
Yeah, I was just happy the fact that the bomb upgrade was actually worth 6.
Yeah, seeing your 20 bomb count made me just a tad bit jealous.
But good game. Good luck in the next round.
Yeah, you too. I'm sure we'll meet up again. It'll happen.
Yep, we'll bounce back from this, and I'll just get the 3 wins I need to make sure that I qualify for the bracket stage.
That's the spirit, AdirondackRick. And Ategenos,
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations on your victory today, and AdirondackRick, good luck to you in the next race. Good luck to you, both of you, and enjoy the rest of the tournament tonight. We got a couple more races on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yes, I think we have. What do we have?
All right, I'll tell you who we have here. Next up, we've got on JamEvil channel here, we've got Janice Zeal and Raikou Ryder here, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central. We've got Crimson Avix and Rob Draven. They're going to be in the commentator's booth for that race. And then an hour after that, 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central, this will be on Ategenos channel. Epic Yoshi 64 and Zarnax 42. Again, 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. Z-Man and Seawolf will be in the commentator's booth for that one.
So seeing as both of you guys do both commentary and run, if you could maybe just very briefly talk about what you experience differently when you're actually running versus when you're doing the commentary.
I can say this because I'm in 2 randomizer tournaments right now, both the Zelda 1 and the Link to the Past, and it's so easy to talk about what you see on the screen and what people should be doing, but when you're sitting there in the heat of the game and trying to do it yourself, sometimes it's just extraordinarily difficult to actually play it when you're pressing it into your controller.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you there. Even though I'm not a competitive runner like you guys, yeah, it's easy to call the shots when you're in the booth as opposed to when you're actually doing the race yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you have to be. I don't know. I feel more self-critical because you're casting people and you're saying, okay, well, they should be doing this and they should be doing that, and this is a better plan and that's a better plan, and then you're playing and you make the same mistakes they're doing, and so for me at least, I end up being a little bit self-critical and sometimes a little bit more hard on myself because it's like, well, I really shouldn't have done that in hindsight, but I did, and I don't know. You just have to take it race by race and try not to be hard, 1, on the people you're casting, and 2, on yourself while you're running.
Yeah, and everybody's going to have a different opinion on what strategy you're going to take. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, it depends on who the commentators are, it depends on the racers are. So you've got that aspect as well.
I like Truant Gamer's idea in the chat. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because I mean, again, like you're talking about, when you're watching, it's really easy to dissect what's going on because you can see, first of all, 2 different people running, so you have double the information that you would have if you're playing by yourself and racing. So you have more information to assimilate and to create a formula for success. Whereas if you're racing by yourself, you only have what you've got, and so if you make a bad decision, there's nothing for you to look over on the other side of the screen and be like, oh shoot, there's the level I need, there's the item I need, we've got the plan we need. Instead, you're beating on yourself and racking your brain trying to figure out where you need to go, and the stress can slowly build, and I've had it on some seeds where it gets overwhelming because it's like, I don't know what to do. And I was getting that way looking for 9. I was getting really mad because I've had this happen 4 times on Nick's Quest where I haven't been able to find the last dungeon I need to find, and I absolutely detest Mixed Quest with every ounce of my being for that reason, because there's always one spot that I either didn't mark or didn't check that ends up being the one you need, and so it's super stressful for me in that aspect, because I'm like, well, it's just me, and I've got to make the right decision.
Yeah, I had a nice little welcoming aspect to, hey, this is Mixed World. Why isn't this grave moving?
Same place for me. I'm
Oh.
like, okay, this is totally first quest. We're quiche. This is all great. And then I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah, because I was making my way over to that Armos in the grave just to see if that was the power bracelet. Nope.
Yeah, I was not happy when that grave didn't move, because I was 100% convinced that it was first quest overworld.
Mm-hmm.
I should have known better.
It lulled us into a false sense of security.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet another recorder dungeon in a Mixed Quest overworld.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And I don't know, it was a good seed. Everything was spread out pretty nice. It really wasn't a trolley seed either. It was just, I don't know, some of the dungeons were pretty long and you just had to go the right way, but there were, other than maybe the Goma block, there was nothing here that was too difficult.
I didn't even see a Goma block.
The only way I could get to the Triforce, I don't remember what level, but it was a reverse C with a Goma.
That was level 8. I bombed around it.
Oh, okay, well I did that and went up to the top, and that's how I got there.
Yep.
That's a funny comment. Jams just said that Ategenos sounds like Harry Carey. Can you do a Harry Carey? Oh gosh.
I don't have any idea who Harry Carey is, so I couldn't do that for you.
Oh, sorry, Jam.
Oh.
You're out of luck.
Anyways, I gotta
Maybe
get
next
going.
time.
I gotta get going. I'm getting the call to do the 9:30 Link to the Past race. So thank you guys for having me here. Congrats, Jen, and good luck in the second round.
You too, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right. Any last thoughts on this particular race here, Isolated, before we call it?
Nope. Just why is level 3 in the spot where level 3 is in the second quest, Fred? I mean, it's the level 3 of the second quest, and level 3's there.
Hey, give Fred a break. He's the one that's worked really hard on it this term. I mean, look at all the things that could possibly be randomized. I mean, it just coincidentally happened to be that level 3 here happens to be where level 3 is second quest. It's just the odds. So, I mean, what are you going to do? That's just part of the randomizer. Some of the things are going to be completely random, but you got to be kept honest. Some of the things are going to be stacked, and that's just how it's going to be.
And I guess after some of the races last night, I can't really be too surprised.
No. So anyways, that's going to do it for us tonight. On behalf of our two racers, Ategenos and AdirondackRick, on behalf of our tech person and restreamer, JamEvil, and on behalf of my broadcast partner, Isolated999, this is LOZ Cards Fan 23 signing off. Again, remember, in about 30 minutes from now, we're going to have the next race here, right here on JamEvil's channel, Janice Seal and Raikou Ryder. Till then, LOZ Cards Fan 23 signing off. Have a great night. So long, everybody.
Y'all have a good night. Check out the rest of the races. Hope y'all enjoy yourselves.